You may think it's all in your head, but is it really? Today we're going to be talking about your head center in human design and how it is this magnanimous source of ideas, inspiration, and even deep, deep, deep questions that can help you really up-level your life, your business, and your career. So let's dive in. Welcome, I'm Jenna, and you are on my channel where we are talking all about human design and astrology and how you can use it to really get to the depth of your soul. That's what this is all about, right? And so I have up here my handy dandy body graph where I am showing you what the head center is on your body graph. This is, if you're thinking about the 7 chakra system, this is connected to your crown chakra. So where you are connecting with the divine, source, God, whatever you prefer to call it. This center, we're going to be breaking down what it is in general and what it looks like if it is defined on your body graph or undefined on your body graph. So let me just bring up my body graph here. So you can see here, my head center on my body graph is undefined. That means that or you can tell by it being white. So on any body graph that you have, whether it's from Genetic Matrix like mine or, mybodygraph.com, Jovian Archive, My Human Design, if it is white, that means that it is undefined or open. If it is colored in any color, it doesn't matter what color. So you can see these are my defined centers. Those are the ones that are colored in. That it tells you that it is defined. So if this center up here is colored in, it would be defined. The way and the only way that you can get a defined head center is if you have a defined ajna, because you can only have defined centers when you have 2 gates from a center that connect with each other. And there are only 3 gates in the head center, and all 3 of them connect to the ajna. So in order to be defined in your head, you have to have a defined ajna. The head center rules, as I've already said, ideas, inspiration, and question. Those 3 gates have to do with mystery, confusion, and even self-doubt. And so having these centers or having these gates in your center, defined or undefined, just helps you understand how your mind works and how you can channel inspiration and ideas. If you have a defined head center, this is where you create this energy. You have this energy consistently inside of you, and you produce it and can share it out with the world. You produce your own ideas. You produce your own inspiration. You come up with questions that are meant to challenge others and expand others in ways that they're not able to expand themselves. There's only about 29% of the population that has this center defined. This is a pressure center, which means that we feel a lot of pressure in this area to come up with ideas or to come up with answers to the questions that we're asking. And it can be a source of a lot of stress. So something that can happen if you are a defined head center is that you can feel this constant need to have all of your questions answered, to have all of your problems solved, to have all of your ideas out into the world. And what you need to do is really just take a step back and use your strategy and authority and decide, I don't need to have every single problem solved. Not every single problem of mine needs to be solved. And because this is a pressure center, you do feel this pressure that you need to get these things, these problems solved, these questions answered before you can move on with things. But that is not necessarily the case. And you tend to maybe even put the pressure on others because you do feel this overwhelming pressure on yourself, that you actually put this pressure on others to solve your problems or answer your questions because you need to have it answered or solved. However, you need to, again, take a step back and kind of come back to yourself and your body and realize that the answers actually live inside of you. And you are your own authority. So, thinking about how you can really use the inspiration and the ideas that you have and the connection you have to your other centers to help you solve your own problems, come up with the answers to your questions. And that doesn't mean that you can't go to other people for help, support, whatever, but it's also knowing that you get to have this inspiration inside of you and know that what you are seeking does live inside of you and you can bounce that off of others. Now, the other thing with a defined head center is to realize that even though you have this constant source of ideas and inspiration, our authority, our decision making apparatus, as you will, never comes from your head. There is no head center authority. You don't make decisions from your head or your mind. Your decision making authority comes from your body. And so, really tapping back into what is your decision making authority and how you can really go back to using that as your sole decision making authority, because that's where that comes from and that's where you can make the most aligned decisions with you. Now, if you are undefined in your head center, this means that you are taking in ideas, inspiration, and deep questions from outside of you. You don't produce them on your own. And this is not a bad thing. This is actually like you are a huge channeler of the energy around you. So, what this can look like is, for example, let me go back since I'm undefined in this center. When I was in college, I used to go to Panera to sit and write my papers. I actually was able to produce more and write more when I was in the energy of other people, and instead of like just sitting alone in my apartment or my dorm room. This is where you can really be like an excellent person to brainstorm with, because you are somebody who's taking in the ideas and energy of everybody around you in this area. It's almost like anywhere you're open or undefined, you are an empath in that area, if you will. You're taking in other people's energies. You are taking in ideas and inspiration from everybody around you, and you're not creating these ideas and inspiration, but what you're doing is you're taking all of this from everybody around you, and then you are almost distilling it and then amplifying it. And you're taking it and you're putting it out into the world. This is where being around people and environments that are very supportive of you is very important, because you want to be in an area or an environment or around people who actually inspire you, because that's when you're going to get the inspiration coming to you. When you're in alignment, you really are a clear channel to God, source, the divine. You can come and, get ideas from, because that's an external source outside of you. You can channel these ideas and then from the divine and then distill them into something really magical. This is also when you are clear and free of any of the mental pressure, since this is a pressure center, as we've talked about, and not trying to answer anybody else's questions or solve anybody else's problems. You are really, really connected with your soul and your soul path. So thinking about really connecting to the ideas and inspiration that light your soul on fire, because that's what's going to lead you down your soul path. You can gain a really, really strong spiritual connection through that. Now, when you're out of alignment, this is where you feel this pressure to answer other people's questions, solve other people's problems, because other people are putting this on you. And really needing to take a step back and thinking about, what is my question that I need answered? Or like, does this question or this pressure belong to me? Because if you're an empath in this area and you're taking on other people's ideas, problems, and questions that need to be answered that don't belong to you, you need to think and take a step back. Is this important to me? Is this something that I need to answer? Or am I trying to solve somebody else's problem and do somebody else's work? And that's where we need to kind of put that aside and come back to who we are. and what is important to us. The other thing is that you can kind of read other people's thoughts, and so you want to really be careful about how you are connecting with others and the people, again, that you're around, since you want to be around people that are inspiring to you and not people that really drain you of your energy, since you are picking up on thoughts of other people. So that's another thing to really be aware of. Environments and the people you are around are extremely, extremely important. In any of your open centers, this is important, but we are focusing on the head today. So in regards to the head, you do want to be careful about the people and the environments that you are around. And another way of being out of alignment in this center is that you are always looking for an answer outside of you. Like if you just find the perfect answer to your questions that's popping into your head, then everything will be okay. For example, if I just find the perfect job, then I will finally be happy. That's not how it works. You need to really come back again to your strategy and authority, tapping into your authoritative decision-making area of your body, which center that may be, and then coming from that place to make a decision and find what is right and in alignment for you. So whether you are defined or undefined, this is still the source of all your ideas, inspiration, and deep, deep, deep questioning that you get to ask yourself, ask others, that will expand yourself and others. So when we're thinking about how we can support the head center, we want to really go back to meditation. Meditation is like the number one thing you can do to really tap into and connect with your head center and clear out and release energies that don't belong to you. So especially if you're undefined, clearing out things that other people's energies and environmental energies that don't belong to you. And then if you're defined, same thing, but a little bit different, is clearing out and really like focusing on what is important to you. Through meditation, we can get clear on the ideas, inspiration, and questions that are truly meant for us. Something to remember with this center is that not every idea that comes to us belongs to us. And really using our strategy and authority to decide what is ours and what is not meant for us to pursue. This is for defined and undefined head centers. Not every idea needs to have us take action upon it. Sometimes ideas drop into us, whether we are defined or undefined, so that we can share it with others, and then maybe somebody else will take that idea and run with it. So not every single idea is ours or belongs to us, but we are meant to share these ideas with others so that others may take the torch. So it's almost like you're getting these ideas using your strategy and authority to decide, is this idea for me? Is this in my best interest? Does this align with my medicine and what I'm here to share with the world? Or is this something that I'm going to take the torch and pass it to somebody else who can then share this with their medicine? Either way, meditation is a very, very clear way for you to come back to this center and get aligned with this center so that you can distill the ideas and inspiration and questions that are meant for you. And so I want to leave you with this for your head center, whether you are defined or undefined. What truly inspires you? What lights your soul on fire? What do you want? And how can you take that and really distill it to find what really truly lights you up in this world? Because that is what you want to spend your time doing. That is the questions that you need answered, the ideas you need to act upon, and the inspiration that you can take to get your medicine and share it with the world. And so in closing, you now know a little bit more about your head center and what you can do, number one, to nourish it and support it, but also how it works, especially if you are defined or undefined. If you're curious to learn more about your centers and also how astrology plays a role in all of them, you can download my Aligned Leaders Foundation guide, which you can find in my header. Or if you want to know specifically, kind of a do-it-yourself person, and you want me to do it all for you, I encourage you to go book a reading with me, and I can just lay it all out there for you. So I will see you next time.